Welcome to this week's Top 5, where we'll be counting down the top 5 stories from the week. Let's get started. Starting us off at number 5 is Havana resident killed on Highway 27 South. At 3:10 p.m. Tuesday, May 29th, Arkansas State Police, Yale County Sheriff's Office, and Yale County EMS responded to a motor vehicle accident on Highway 27 south of Dardanelle. The accident occurred between a 2000 Honda Civic traveling south on Highway 27 and a 1997 Kenworth dump truck that was traveling northbound on 27. The accident happened when the driver of the Honda Civic attempted to pass another vehicle and decided to swerve back. Upon swerving back, the vehicle left the roadway. The driver of the Honda Civic then overcorrected and went into the northbound lane and was struck head-on by the Kenworth dump truck. The driver of the 2000 Honda Civic, Kimberly Diane Taff, age 36 of Havana, was pronounced dead at the scene by Deputy Coroner Donna Wells. The driver of the Kenworth dump truck, however, was not injured. At the time of the accident, the weather conditions were clear and the roadways were dry. Next in line at number 4 is victim succumbs to injuries after collision with train. A 26-year-old Atkins woman has succumbed to the injuries she sustained from the collision of her Ford Explorer and a train. The victim, identified as Nikki Settlemeyer by Pope County Coroner Leonard Kraut, was seriously injured in the collision and was transported by Pope County EMS to St. Mary's Regional Center, where she later died. The collision occurred Monday afternoon after the Ford Explorer she was driving was struck by an eastbound Union Pacific train on the railroad crossing located on Avenue 4 Southeast in Atkins. Our number 3 story of the week was motor vehicle versus train collision. Just before 3 p.m. Monday, Atkins Police Department, Pope County Sheriff's Office, Pope County EMS, and other local law enforcement authorities responded to a motor vehicle versus train collision in Atkins, in front of the former Atkins Pickle Plant off Highway 64. Union Pacific Railroad authorities were also present at the scene of the accident. The collision occurred when the vehicle attempted to cross the tracks and failed to yield to the oncoming train. One person was ejected from the vehicle. Traffic was blocked due to the accident, and officials were on the scene until 4 p.m. Coming in at number 2 is reporter shoved to the ground in Pope County. On Wednesday, May 23rd, the family of Lee Britton held a funeral service at a Dardanelle funeral home. Meanwhile, KATV reporter Janelle Lilly, accompanied by an intern with the station, were in Pope County beginning to gather information by video for a story they were working on for KATV's 10 p.m. news broadcast. While in Pope County Wednesday afternoon, the reporter and intern were filming footage for their news story and were approached by Britton's brother, who was upset by their presence. KATV released a statement asserting, "We were on public property and informed Mr. Britton's brother we had no intention of violating his privacy or property line." According to the statement, Britton's brother was not satisfied with the answer the reporter gave. After making several threats, Britton's brother shoved both Lilly and our camera, which fell to the ground. Following the incident, KATV called the Pope County Sheriff's Office and deputies responded to their location. The deputies explained to the Britton family that the reporter and intern were within their rights to be present. Both Lilly and the intern confirmed they were uninjured from the accident. And our top story of the week, fatal shooting in Yale County. Sheriff Bill Gilkey announced the May 24, 2012 arrest of a Rover woman in connection with the death of her husband. Stacy Lucky, age 34, was taken into custody after deputies were called to the couple's home in the early morning hours of May 24, 2012, where it was reported that Lucky's husband, Johnny Lucky, age 26, had shot himself. Stacy Lucky initially told investigators that the two had been arguing and her husband had shot himself, but she later told Lieutenant Scott Moore of the Sheriff's Department during an interview that she had shot her husband in the head after he had assaulted her. According to Foster, evidence found at the crime scene and preliminary reports from the Arkansas State Medical Examiner are consistent with the investigators' allegations that the incident was a homicide. The Sheriff's Office anticipates the filing of formal charges against Lucky by prosecuting attorney Tom Tatum of Danville, which could include murder in the second degree, felon in possession of a firearm, and filing a false report with the law enforcement agency. Lucky will appear in Yale County Circuit Court before Judge Jerry Don Ramey. That concludes this week's Top 5. Click back next week as we count down the most read stories of the week.